Okay, this is my light table that I told you I'd tell you about. I made it. It wasn't very hard to do. I just you know, particle board, cut it, and then I just put a little dado around the edge right here for my glass to fit in on top. I got that little guy who's out in the garage from an old outlet I had sitting around. You get something like that at a Goodwill, or go to Home Depot. You can buy one for like $9. And then get a couple of good light bulbs that you're going to put in there. The other end, you just drilled a hole, mounted it right on there, and this one-handed. Put this guy in here, and the fits. This glass fits in the groove like that. And then when you plug it in, it lights up like that. Let me turn off the other light. I told you this is my basement, so nothing fancy down here. This is just a workshop, a work corner in my basement. And now you can see the yellow glass, whereas if it's over here, you just look at it like that, and you're like, yeah, okay, but what's it look like when it's going to be in the window? It's going to look like that. So you lay it on here, and then I can take my pattern. Let's say I just grab one off of here. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a bugger to do. That little guy is going to be a bugger. I might cut him. I can't cut him. But anyways, now I can picture, even though I can't see through this, I can imagine what the grain is going to look like when it comes through this. So when it's all said and done, it looks better. All right, I got my work cut out for me here, literally. Now I have to put it on glass, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Okay, I got most of them on here. As you can see, it kind of looks like it's pure chaos, but actually there's these are all lined up with the grain, so the orientation of the petals should be, you should be able to see the grain in there. I got a couple left here. I was going to run it through, show you how I do it. Just grab it, and then I look over on my pattern to see how the petal is actually oriented, and if it's a dark or a light petal. This is 14. 14 is real bright. So, and the camera might be a little misleading here, but I have some white spots underneath, like where my light bulbs are. I know that those are a little whiter than, it's not muted completely. So I'm gonna look for a real white spot on here, and I like this spot right here. And I'm trying not to waste my glass. I'm trying to crowd it down, and you'll see why here when I go to cut it. So just lay it down here. Put some glue on here. You got to keep rubbing it off with your scrap piece of glass here, or it'll stick to this glass. I love rubber cement. This stuff's a great invention. So number 14, there really isn't a grain to it because it's a real bright spot in the flower. So let's just put it along this area right there, like that. It sets up. Okay, and the last one is number 11. Number 11 is real bright also. I'm going to put a little swirl in it. So when you see it all, when it all comes together, you'll see why. The flower's all done, you'll see why I did that. Let's see, how about this little guy right here? Just put some right there. Put some on the back of this. If that was the back. Was that the back? Yeah, that was the back. And now it orients. Let's put a little. Goes like that. We'll put a little bit of a loop in it, just like that. Okay, so I can just go along and I go between them, and you can see the stuff just picking up. All right, I will be back and start to cut. Okay, now I got everything laid out with the yellow, and I went back through and found the green. These are going to be leaves, so use the grain of the glass to it's going to give it like lines in the leaves. It's going to radiate out. So get that cleaned off. This is going to be the stem. It's going to be kind of tough to do because it's really narrow, and we'll try to cut it. And that's half the battle, and the other half is going to be when I come down through here with the solder. When they're this thin and this long, if I touch it too long, I'll get a crack in it. I've had these stems cracked before. I'll just have to be careful. So put that over there, and then what I did is the part around the rose, the oval part, I laid it out on here, and these are all loose. So basically, what I'm going to do is I try to line them all up, and what I'll do is when I cut, I'll just cut once between every one of these, and the grain is going to kind of be the same. I'm trying to do this. Wish my glass was a little bit longer, but it'll be fine like this. So basically, when you look at this, the rose would be in here, and when I cut it all apart, all the grain's going to line up, in theory. So let's glue that down and give it a shot. Okay, we're just about finishing up here. Just gonna go through here, and got all these tacked down with the glue. And because I'm only going to make it a single cut for the most part on some of these, I'm probably not going to do a lot of over gluing, on the surface, because I don't plan on making a lot of grinding. If I'm going to be in a grinder for a while, like a real tricky custom cut, I know I'm going to be on the grinder for a while with that piece. I'll put the glue a little more on top of it just to make it a little more waterproof, I guess. Alright, now we'll let those dry. I'll have to wipe off the excess. And oh nope, I got a couple more pieces here. We'll do those, and I'll be back. I think we're about ready to start cutting. Okay, we got them all on here, and as you can see, everything's all. The glass has a little bit of a. It's not all the same, so it'll work out nice. There are some lighter and darker areas which will add some texture to it, give it some dimension. These are all down, and I think we're good to go on that. And you can see that I'm going to have to get kind of tricky when I can go right up through here and right up through here, and maybe that'll be my first cut, or maybe this one will be my first cut. You just got to kind of think ahead. If you just put these all on here and you don't leave yourself an escape route, when you come up through here, you got to make it so that if you're going to do an S or something like that, you give yourself some room to. You can't come up and make an angle. Expect the glass to do that. It needs curves. It needs like this guy right here is going to be a little tricky. I'll come up and then I'll have to sweep it over, and this will be flat. But I'll be able to mellow this cut out enough that it should work. I'll give myself some. I won't come right up against it in case you do that. It might when you break, it might have like a little bit of a chamfer underneath it. So you'll see. Okay, I think we're ready to start cutting the glass.